Hey everybody, it's Gunpla. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a pretty unusual video for you guys, so bear with me if I say or make mistakes. Please don't kill me in the comments. I really tried to work on this video for you guys, so there might be some errors. I'm just gonna let you guys know right now. But today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my adventures with my first resin 3D printer. Now, this was somewhat challenging to kind of figure out how to do. Okay, scratch that. Extremely challenging because I'm not a very tech savvy person. I don't program or code or anything like that. Not that you need to know how to do those things to learn how to 3D print, but there is a steep learning curve, at least for me. There is a learning curve to operating a 3D printer. I literally unboxed this thing. I thought I was like, okay, I'm just going to download a file, print out a Zaku, and bam, that's all it is. And that was a rude awakening because of, you know, those of you who 3D print know that it's not easy as wham bam and done. So, drum roll please. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my adventure with the Anycubic Photon Mono X resin printer. Okay, so where do I start? I was never really into 3D printing that much, but as many of you guys know, unfortunately on the market, there aren't that many large kits being printed by Bandai. Now, I've always wanted a 1/24 scale Zaku of my own and other larger kits, so really you're kind of going to have to figure it on your own because Bandai just does not kind of cater to, you know, the people that want a large kits. So what alternative that leaves you with is basically 3D printing. So that's kind of what got my interest peaked into 3D printing. And now there's actually two kinds. I'm gonna try to go quickly over this for those of you guys who aren't familiar with 3D printing. You have two kinds. You have FDM and you have resin. FDM, for me, it doesn't work, or it's not something I'm interested in because it leaves a lot of work after it's printed. You're going to have to do a lot of sanding to kind of get the model looking good. Resin printer, it prints really good and it requires minimal sanding, at least in my eyes. Again, these are just my opinions. I'm a total beginner when it comes to 3D printing, so take what I say with a grain of salt, okay? But yeah, so this is basically what piqued my interest with 3D printing is I want to print large Gunpla kits that aren't available on the market. So that's kind of my story behind getting interested in 3D printing. Plus, I also have an amazing little sister, aka Everyday Nerdy. I'll link her channel in the description below. She does 3D printing. Obviously, that kind of helped me figure out this whole mess of trying to get this printer under control. So I actually have a pretty cool announcement. I actually already purchased a 1/20th scale RX-78 II. I'll kind of show you a picture, guys. A picture of it, what it looks like right here. I unfortunately don't have it printed for this video because this bad boy is over 300 pieces. It is a humongous build. It's something that me and my sister are going to be working on in the future. You know, slowly printing out this thing. And of course, I will update it on my channel for you guys so you guys can see the progress of that 1/20th scale because it's going to be huge. I think it weighs like probably more than 20 pounds. I don't exactly remember off the top of my head, but it's a massive print, but it's something I'm definitely going to be doing on this printer that Anycubic sent me because this resin printer can actually handle printing out that giant file. Now, before I get into my personal experiences figuring out 3D printing, let me talk to you guys about this printer because, oh my God, is it amazing. Let me start with the obvious. This thing is freaking huge, like gymongous. Now, my sister actually has a few 3D printers and she has a resin printer as well, but it's pretty small. It's nothing large. And just comparing this to that is huge. This thing is humongous. It prints massive files. And the other thing about this is that this printer is actually pretty affordable. There are pretty large resin printers on the market already, maybe even bigger than this one, but they're gonna cost you a pretty penny. So this is pretty affordable for it being under $1,000. You can get your own humongous resin 3D printer. Now, as you guys will see in the video, you will not be sacrificing quality for size. So you're gonna get both in this one package. You know, I always assumed with larger prints, you tend to kind of lose detail or lose the quality in the prints in order to, you know, sacrifice to get something larger. But with this one, you don't. Probably why they called it 6K is my best guess. So bigger is sometimes better. And I'm gonna put a quick photo of some of the stats on here. That way I don't botch anything because it's kind of confusing, but I will put a picture right here so you guys can see for yourself how well this printer handles. Now, another thing that I want to talk about this printer is, holy cow, is this thing freaking fast. I mean fast. Now, let me warn you guys, prints takes hours to print. I mean like hours. So with this guy, it literally, like, I want to say it's like 3 times as fast. Like, you know, a certain pilot we all know. If you guys caught that joke, but yeah, no, for real, this thing is really fast. So from my experience, it cuts the time down significantly and you don't have to wait around for like, you know, 12 hours on a print. This guy can do it in much less than that, which is really nice, because that's the worst thing about printing is literally you want to print something and it's like, oh, 13 hours, great, only for it to fail, which is even more of an annoying thing. But yeah, that's one thing that you're gonna have to deal with 3D printing is sitting around and waiting for the print to be done. All right, so enough of me rambling on. Let me show you guys some of the prints that I got with this printer. All right, so here is one of the first prints that I did. As you can see, it came out pretty good. This is a destroyed Zaku diorama. Looks really cool. This is one of the colors Apricot from Anycubic, and pretty solid. I did not hollow this out, so it's pretty hefty. And I really like the details of the cracks and everything in there. And let me go ahead and show you up close the Zaku head. You can see the mono eye right there. Excuse my dirty nails. I was gardening earlier today, so some soil is trapped under there. But yeah, other than that, I was pretty happy with how this print came out. Here you can see more details alongside the Zaku shield. You can see all those cracks. So pretty good quality print right here. Now, let me show you something I'm not so happy about. This one here, this was a failed print. So this is what it looks like when a print fails. As you can see, still printed out the details very good, but that is all messed up, and you know, more mess up here. So yeah, like I said, you know, this is a learning process. So, and that's what it looks like with a kit on it. Really cool diagram, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna try to paint this one and I can show you guys the process, or not process, but the progress on my Instagram when I have painted this guy. I think I'm going to do a green one here, and that is Bowser. Please ignore him. Next up that I printed is this really cute Psyduck. This was one of the first prints I did, and again, I did not hollow it. There's no hole in here, so it is a solid print, and it printed out really good. You can see the details here in the eyeballs, and this is what I mean that this resin printer requires minimal sanding. As you can see, there's no like harsh kind of like indents that you would get with those FDM printers, so really not that much sanding. However, you can see here where all the supports were at, then it's a little bit of a texture. So this is the area that will require some sanding, you know, to get it looking perfectly smooth. But other than that, it prints out really good. All right, next up here is a RX-78-2 detailed print. Now obviously this guy failed, so this is what another failure looks like, and here is a better kind of understanding of the supports that go into making a print. And I did a lot of supports on him, but you know, ultimately he still failed. And again, this is not the printer issue, this is the user issue. 3D printing is a learning process, and I'm not exactly sure what went wrong here. I'm thinking along the lines I was using the wrong setting or the incorrect light. I don't know, you know, like I said, it's pretty complicated, but this was a failed print, but you could still see all the details that came out on this one. Again, skirts failed. Another try. So here you can see a layer, another failure. But then again, look at all that detail that this printer is able to, you know, print out. And lastly, I tried one more time, a different color resin because I was starting to run out of that apricot color. But this is a clear resin, it looked really cool. But unfortunately, this one failed yet again. But one of these days, I will print this guy out successfully. but you can just see the detail in the shield here, and he even has his own fingers. You can see that the printer was able to print that out. Next up is not a failure. I actually printed out 2 of these like effect parts, I guess is what you want to call them, and you can even see the liquid still in here. I don't know if you guys can see a little bubble. I honestly don't know why it came out like that. I guess it's because I didn't hollow this out, I'm assuming. I really don't know. Now this white part is because this is a clear resin. Now a hack that I learned from my sister is that if I spray this with clear gloss, it will make the clear resin look really nice. So I actually printed out 2 of these effect parts in different colors. So here is the apricot, looking really cool. Let me show you guys this with a kit. Huge actually you can make because this printer is enormous. And just for fun, here are both prints put together. Now the next thing that I tried to print out was kind of a Christmas theme. It is December. Unfortunately, I did some incorrect things. As you can see here, I did not add the supports properly. It's the focus. I did it way too close to the bed and it prints out like this, and I cannot pry it off. So again, that was my error. I'm just gonna be upfront with you guys, you know, just show you the mistakes I made while trying to print out things. However, I did get some successful prints. Here is the base of the Zaku, a Christmas themed Zaku. As you can see, he's got the little kind of tip of the Santa Claus hat thingy, but the printer picked up all the little details right here. As you can see, it looks really good. Unfortunately, I didn't get the base of the body printed out properly. These actually came out really freaking amazing. If you can just look at all the detail and the little reindeer horns, this is so cute. I'm actually going to print this out at a bigger scale. And this one is supposed to be Rudolph. How cute. You see the little bell right here? This is so cute. I will have in the description the artist if you would like to purchase some for yourself. And I think these are supports. Oh yeah, see, they just kind of pop off. I'm gonna get a little nervous, but you just pop off these supports. Just be very careful to not, oh, you see? I just broke an arm. Again, you know, you just have to be really fragile with these things because it's so tiny. Unfortunately, I ripped it out, but this one is a practice print for me. I will print this out at a larger scale once I kind of figure out how to print these out without getting failures. And you can even see, if my camera picks this detail up, it says Rudolph on the side right there. The printer was able to catch all of that. I hope my camera can pick it up. It says it right there. It says Rudolph. And again, some issues in the back. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with how this guy turned out. Now next up, I printed out a bunch of different kind of effect parts here. Like, I don't know, explosions, I guess. These I actually did a much better job of adding the supports. Obviously these didn't fail, so these look really good. They need minor kind of sanding and clipping here to get all those, what I call nub marks, off them from the supports. But these look really good. I printed out a whole bunch. Here's one with a missile on it. These here are more missiles. I just didn't remove the supports yet because I kind of wanted to show you guys what it looks like. This one here is a cloud of smoke, and you can super glue a little missile right there. Here's another one with a missile attached to it. And here's some more missiles. Like, there's so many things that you can print out for your kids. It's just amazing. Now it's time to show you guys the print I am most proud of. Are you guys ready? This one is not a failure. How cool is this dragon? Oh my gosh, he is individually articulated and he's got posable feet. Now you can lay him flat on the belly because it is a flat surface right here. The head also is immovable. His horns and mouth are not, but let me get a close-up on this guy so you can see the detail. Again, this is a clear resin, so once I spray it with clear gloss that I unfortunately don't have, I only have matte, he will look a lot nicer. But I love to play around with this guy and just kind of hold him. I just think he's so cool looking. He kind of reminds me of like Shenlong. from Dragon Ball Z. But yeah, this guy's fantastic. And this giant thing printed on that printer in one go. So yeah, unfortunately he's not Gundam, but I just want to show him anyways because I was really proud of how this print came out and just the quality and how ginormous he is. All right, let me put him next to a high grade so you guys can see how I'm talking about that this printer can print out huge things. That's a high grade, and this is the print. You can even see the eyes and the nose and the teeth, all the scales. But yeah, I'm definitely having a little too much fun printing out stuff that obviously I ran out of resin, which I will have to order more. But there's so many prints I have in my mind that I want to start printing. It's just a matter of having patience and waiting for prints to be done, which is the sad part because I want things to be done now. But again, this printer prints out really fast, which is awesome. Now, I'm going to just talk a little bit so maybe it might help you guys. Some of the issues, or not issues, things I encountered that I wasn't aware of when I started resin printing. Now, the first thing is the smell. The smell is pretty strong for me, at least. It would give me headaches, so I tend to wear a face mask when I'm dealing with the resin because it is a toxic material. So I wasn't, really aware of that. There is a smell and it does make me nauseous and dizzy and give me headaches. So that's just something to be aware of. You kind of want to print in a well-ventilated room if you're sensitive to that. Second thing is, like I said, I thought when you print something and you print it and you're done and that's it. No, you actually have to take care of the print afterwards. You have to cure it and wash it in alcohol and all this stuff, and I wasn't aware of that. But luckily for me, I have the Anycubic cure and wash station, so it's a giant thing all in one. You just stick it in there, you hit the little buttons, and it washes it and cures it for you all in one station. Next thing that I encountered is safety. Again, this is resin, so it's somewhat toxic and you are gonna need gloves. I went through so many gloves. And then lastly is you're going to be using a slicing software. Now this is where I had a lot of issues, unfortunately. The printer is fantastic. However, the slicing software is where I was having a lot of issues. Now, most people use Lychee slicing software, which is fantastic, but unfortunately at this moment, Lychee has not done an update that is is usable with this brand new resin printer. So you're going to have to be using the Anycubic software, which honestly was pretty difficult for me to kind of figure out and use, because I guess it's with Mac. Maybe I have a MacBook Pro, and whenever I would try to use it and I would start slicing and adding supports and all this stuff, it would just crash multiple times and I would lose all my work. So I would, so some things I would print multiple things at once. So I would do two, add supports to two things, and then save, and two things and save, and two things and save, because if not, the program would just literally, I get the spinning wheel of death and bam, crash, which is very frustrating when you're spending a lot of time kind of putting everything at 45-degree angles and then adding supports and all this stuff. So yeah, just be aware. And if you guys aren't aware what slicing is, basically you need to put the STL file into this program, and then you're going to add supports, which will help the print not fail. In a nutshell, it's kind of what it is. So it's a little obviously more in depth than that, but I'm just gonna go just touch the surface of it. If you guys want to learn more, there's tons of YouTube videos that can help you figure out how to add supports. Good luck. I know this video is probably going to be a little bit longer than what I anticipated, but I hope you guys, I hope I'm not boring you guys with this, but I just wanted to mention a few things that kind of caught me off guard and maybe might help you guys if you guys are new to 3D printing as well. All right, so that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And let me know in the comments if you wanted me to do more 3D printing videos. I definitely have so many files I have gotten that I'm going to be printing. That's Gundam related. So yeah, let me know in the comments if that's something that you guys would want to see in the future or not. I can just stick to strictly, my typical content, which is just Gunpla and some unboxings. But let me know in the comments. Again, I want to give a huge thank you to Anycubic for sponsoring today's video and sending me this printer to showcase for you guys and being able to create my own Gundam content and things like that. And a big thank you to my little sister, Everyday Nerdy, for helping me troubleshoot and spend, you know, countless hours with me trying to figure out this thing and helping me slice and add supports and all this stuff that's involved with 3D printing that, you know, I don't really understand that well yet, but I am learning. Like I said, I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos, watching Uncle Jesse. So if you guys know any other, you know, really good 3D printing channels, let me know in the comments. I'll check them out as well, and, you know, keep learning, and hopefully really soon print out that really large RX 78 too. But again, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you around for the next one. Adios. And always a huge thank you to all the people on my Patreon for always supporting me, and a special thank you to all my ultimate fans who are Alphonse, BibloJack4, David Sikora, Jason Franklin Fergerger, Jamison Willis, Jesse Uli, Madi, Michael Lyons, Michael Lawrence, Mad Villain, Vertable20, and Wes Jones. Thank you guys so much for all the support.